Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Happy Monday. We get the CPI numbers at the end of the week. The only numbers we get unless the government shutdown ends. Good morning, John. Good morning, Patrick. Happy Monday to you. Good morning, Sterling. I had to put in a test message this morning. I was not getting comments to show up until I put in the test message. Really, I did not look at Cleveland Cliffs up. Miss up 18.47%. I wonder what their guidance was. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Ted. I like tomorrow, Mike, instead of morning, Mike, Ted. uh, what else do we have going on? Good morning, Rick. I guess Hassett's talking now. If the shutdown doesn't end, the White House will have to take stronger measures. All right. By the way, good morning, Rusty over and Patrick over on Rumble. Rusty, how chilly is it? How chilly is it this morning? All right, what do we got coming out this week? Besides CPI at the end of the week, there's not much because the government shut down, but we got we got still more Fed talk this week. Remember the cut is at the end of the month, so we got Muslim talking this morning. Rig counts today. We got consumer. Oh, sorry. Why does that say Friday? That was Friday. There we go. Thought that was wrong. We don't have Muslim speaking today. That was Friday. We have the consumer board leading index today. We have Red Book Waller speaking tomorrow. We got the EIA numbers on Wednesday. We have Chicago Fed Natural Activity Index on Thursday, Kansas City Fed Manufacturing Composite. We will not have initial jobless claims or continuing jobless claims unless the shutdown is over. We got CPI on Friday. That's the only government data that's coming out because they index uh, Social Security to it. So we got S&P Global Manufacturing and Composite. We got consumer sentiment and inflation expectations on Friday. So Friday is the busiest day of the week today or this week. So we'll have to stay tuned for that. All right, what else do we have in here? Rare earths are going to be the next AI. We're just going from bubble to bubble to bubble. Hello, Charles. So, Adam Taggart discussion with Jan Van Eck has totally changed my understanding of AI and gold. Oh, that's good, Rick. So, what do we look like this morning? The heat map. You got Apple pretty much leading the mega caps up. But it's pretty green across the board in all your sectors. Everything except consumer defensive is green. Sell vol, buy it all. Big VIX drop on Friday with options expiration. Big VIX drop. Let's see if that continues. So, Fed Watch still has close to 99% for the cut on the 29th, and then 96% for the cut in December. Fear and greed still solidly in fear mode, bouncing out of extreme fear mode, and Schiller PE. Well, buy it all. The market's cheap at 39.56 Schiller PE. What else? Hello, Christoph. Excited what this white week will bring. Feels like anything can happen. I think anything can happen. So, what do we have? Merck says it's investing more than 70 billion to expand manufacturing and R&D in US. All right, there you go. Sterling already put in CLF in the earnings. Again, there wasn't much this morning. After the close, there isn't much either. You still got some regional banks reporting. Tomorrow we got Coca-Cola and defense company stocks like GE Aerospace, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon. You also got Pulte Group and GM and Northrop Grumman. After close, Netflix, Texas Instruments. Before the open on Wednesday of GE Verona, Boston Scientific, AT&T. After close, you have Tesla, won the Mag 7, so that'll people will be watching that. Remember, they will probably do better than expected because of the elimination of the tax credit at the end of September, so it rolled forward a lot of purchases. IBM, what else? SAP, Thursday, American Airlines, Southwest Airlines. After close on Thursday, Intel, Newmont, and then Friday got P&G, General Dynamics. So next week, also remember, next week really we get into tech earnings. So keep that in mind. So what? Okay. Thank you for again putting in more information. So now if we rotate back up, get above this 67.44, this doubles off the table because it spiked down on Friday. It does not mean this low doesn't mean anything. I will actually be watching to see if we do close below, not last Friday's low, the prior Friday, the 10th low, because that would also take us below the 50 on any sell off. So this is my key level about the 65.95 area. Other than that, gotta stay in the, especially the VIX dropping, the buy it all after options expiration. Now, another note, because of the tariff case in November, looking if volatility continues to drop for some potential more hedges going into November. Wouldn't normally do that, but with government shutdown still going on and things, we're getting a lot more volatility. You can see the long tails, the move on the 10th. That is many times, not always, but many times indicative of a potential topping, a rollover pattern. Even if we invalidate this little, it's turning into a very sloppy double. It probably will get validated today. But I will be looking at least for some hedges going into November. Other than that, targets the upside 67.45 area. 67.45 to about 67.55 is my first target area to watch for minor tops, and then 67.78. Other than that, not. And then if you kept going about 6,800, and then the targets the upside, we have 68.46 should it continue and take out the ninth's highs. And then we have a major cluster at 68.77 area, 68.80. So that's all you need to know. We'll cover if we do reverse and close back below this 65.95 area, depending on whether the double is there or not. The double doesn't technically trigger until 65.40 if it's even around by then. I'll go through the targets we're looking at the downside if we do get weakness. The double technically is off the table in the NASDAQ. Again, we're trading against this 60, or just 25,155, where we've had some key resistance area. If we get through that, it's sort of a little wider area. I'm going to bump this up a bit. It's closer to this. I'm actually going to take it off. It's going to be closer to this 25,240 to 25,265 area is key. There's probably a fair amount of short-term stops right above this key area that we spiked through last Thursday and had a little reversal to there. So if we go through there, we could get some acceleration up to the upside towards this 25,240 area to 25,265. Above there, I'm looking at 25,355. And if we take out the most recent highs, 25,550 is the next harmonic. The Dow, key support 46,400 area. Next target area for me is about 46.7. Russell got back above. This was confirmed resistance on Friday, retested with the Sunday open and confirmed now. So the next target area is 2502, 2503 area. Then above there, I'm paying closer attention if we do continue to rally 2526. Remember, we still have a lot of pressure on regional banks right now. They're bouncing back a bit, but Russell, if you do see more pressure in regional banks, uh, that will get hit again pretty decently. The VIX, though, with the option expiration on Friday, pretty big drop coming into a very key support level. If we start breaking below about 1950, we could start seeing more acceleration to the upside with the buy it all and sell volatility again, which seems to be the wonderful trade. Oh, Rusty, sorry, I did not see you over on Rumble. 45, yeah, 45. It was 53 here yesterday morning with no humidity in the desert. So that's a little chilly here. But 45, I'd definitely be chilly in Alabama. Uh, DAX on the break of the high was the potential intraday entry point for the bounce. Again, this is an aggressive bounce going into a key resistance area. It definitely looks like it's going to close above here. But target is 24,370 for me. Notes, we finished the double. Back to the rotation zone, rotating back up. Going to be watching if we rotate back up for a topping pattern in here. But again, with the CPI data coming out Friday. So we will see how that comes out. The 10-year, back to key resistance, rotating down. Going to be seeing if we form a bottoming pattern in here. But nothing yet. Right now, it's still rotation in there and a little short-term short setup. If we do break to new lows, we're in a very key support area. But if we break to new lows, you have the minor at 3.9 is the next key thing. And then I'd really be paying attention to closer to 3.85. What else do we have? Crude breaking back down again. Breaking back down. We had the contract roll. And now breaking down into a very, very major support area. So any shorts, 55 is a key target area that I'm really watching with oversold conditions and potential cycles at the bottom. So I'll be watching for any potential bottoming setup, just nothing there yet. Again, we broke down below key resistance here, or key support becoming resistance, hit the next key level. It's 58.18. Continuing lower. Gold, key reversal outside day setup. Does that mean the gold move is over? No. But we didn't even reconnect, and people were panicking on Friday, literally with a 2% drop in gold after this. There was panic with a 2% drop, which is not good. So, is there a major topping pattern yet? There might be a minor one if it is actually a potential double top. It's just in that territory. So Friday's low is now very, very key. Does that mean it ever has a trigger? No. Again, we got too many people, but basic materials are all up. Too many people still rushing in. Although a lot of on the boards on Friday, people are like, I'm selling my gold. I'm going all back in, selling all my gold and going back into Bitcoin. Boy. Boy. So, this market's frothy across the board. We're running from one bubble to another, and gold is very. You can see this kind of reaction on Friday. We have not had a stable grind. This has gone vertical. Can it go more vertical? Yes. Again, look at this. Peeling away. This little sell-off didn't even reconnect it with the daily rotation zone. Again, possible warning signs of a topping area. And even if that double triggered, it wouldn't even take it back to the weekly rotation zone. So just know where your stops are. And now, yeah, we're going to actually have, they're considering approving 5 times leveraged ETFs. We do not need more leverage in this market. 5-time leverage ETFs. Wonder if you'll do 0-day options on 5 times leveraged ETFs. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff. Should we take out home equity lines of credit to make up losses? Oh geez. This is going to end in tears. And this, look, people were freaked out from this. It's already nearly mostly recovered. This did damage to people's portfolios. Literally, we have not even had a 5% drop. This. Oh, do I need to take out loans to recover my. Okay. When something hits, it's not going to be pretty. Silver also has like key reversal on Friday. That did reconnect to rotation zone. Again, on the daily, but look at the weekly. Look at the weekly. Not saying it has to stop, but know where your trails are for the short-term moves. Copper, still caught in the range. Dollar index might be a percent B buy. Did not close below the rotation zone, gapped a little below it, still holding the 50, watching for this. Again, if we close below the 50, I'm going to be very patient on the dollar index back to a closer to 97.20. But everything's going into rah-rah mode again, watching for a potential euro percent B sell. Spiders. Again, this needs to get above 686.67 to technically take the potential double top off the table. We're trading 667.55, so it might be off the table today. Above there, the acceleration point is right around that 75% harmonic. As we start breaking through there again, I'm really focused on the 671.25 area. The Qs. This again with the 607.15, we're above there. So I didn't put it on here, but that takes. Technically, it doesn't take it off for the Qs. We'll put it back on here if it remains on. Did it technically take it off for the spiders? Oh, yeah. So, but still buy it all. Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin did close right at key support below the rotation zone, which is flattening out. So this next bounce becomes very important in the old cryptocurrencies. We've also had Tether go on a massive printing spree. And I call it a printing spree because it came out, it's out of nowhere. Tether won't admit that, but hey, when you guys can pass an audit, then we'll talk. Watching this next bounce because it's starting to do some more significant technical damage in the good old Bitcoin. Even with sell all the gold, buy Bitcoin, guys. So that's where we sit right now. I'm going to raise the levels to the stronger point now. Other than that, what else do we have going on? Yeah, that little drop at people in Mexico, it's bad. This is how leveraged things are. You're leveraged at all-time highs at insane valuations after insane runs. And now you're going all in on leverage. Because and if I hear one more time the year-end rally is a no-brainer guarantee, can it happen? Sure. You know what? Wouldn't short without a really good pattern. But geez, when everybody says guarantee, no brainer. Okay, lever up. Let's get our HELOCs. Let's go. Hey, why don't you take loans on credit cards? Just go all in on leverage because it's a guarantee. Being sarcastic, by the way. major resistance on the good old Bitcoin is just below, or just around 119,200. Yeah, how about extreme fear and 3% of all-time highs? Exactly. Not even, I mean, we didn't even get to a 5% sell-off. Extreme fear. That's where it's insane. Insane. I mean, people were freaking out. The bigger thing with me was gold. Gold. After this kind of run, this caused a panic? What? Yeah, because people are all in on everything with leverage. By the way, Broadcom may be off the table, but the double is still there. Probably if this rallies back up. But AI is really, look at this. Since the gap up from prior earnings in September, gone a whole bunch of nowhere overall. Still in the weekly rotation zone, but it's starting to lose its oomph. Nvidia's holding up a little better, but man, I wonder if we're going to make a head and shoulders in this. I wonder. So that's where we sit. Tesla earnings this week. Probably get the next juice up. Again, there's no major short pattern just yet. Going to be watching for a retest. First off the 455 area, then this gap open reversal 470. Eric's seconds, the JEV piece on thoughtful money. Flew past blistering double top on Aries and has me looking at BABA for low energy prices in China. Okay. All right. What could go wrong with 5 times leverage? Let's just pile on 0-day options and 5 times leverage. What could go wrong? You know what's going to be interesting? Mark this down. Because once we start getting a substantial sell-off, and you will, the markets do not go up forever. I think we'll get over a 50% correction. When it happens, don't know, but we will. You're gonna see the blame because all right, when things start going down, all these 0-day options that were piled into to juice everything up can juice everything down too. What's going to be blamed? I bet you they regulate 0-day options once we get the bigger sell-off. And they'll blame it on 0-day options. They won't say, hey, those things contributed to the massive run-up. They won't say that, but they'll blame it on the way down. AI may trigger a double top. You watch. You watch, and they'll blame the short sellers too. AI, it might. That is. That would probably, if that played out, that would invalidate the double. It's confirmed double, but not yet triggered. We'll have to see. All right. But this is indicative of AI because you had this key double bottom, the key weekly double bottom off the 87.5 against the weekly rotation zone, so it was lower probability, but it hasn't even been able to hit the first target. Look at this. So AI in a lot of different ways is starting to lose its juice. All right. Hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful trading day. Well, that chart's not helpful. By the way, we do have a little mini potential 1-hour double top. It would need, with that, I'll drop it back to lower, a little lower. It would need a 1-hour close below 67.12 to trigger. That's about the only bearish thing on here. Other than that, the pullback into the 1-hour rotation zone. So, 9 to 5 guys are using leverage to quit their miserable job and get rich. Yep. It's all in on every. We're back to, I remember I was living in New York City when the .com stuff was unwinding. And before that, I'd be taking limos to the airport or black cars to the airport, and all the drivers were telling me what stocks they were in. Oh, I just went all in on pet.com because it's a sock puppet kind of thing. I went all in on this, that, the other thing. Oh, what? Cisco's a no brainer. It's going to 1,000. It's going to 1,000,000, and then we had the .com online, and that's why they were still driving the cars. And they were in even worse shape 3 years later. So, because they were also all levered up. Levered up because it was a no brainer. Been there, done that. It sounds like that again to me. It sounds even worse than that to me because it's people are piling in everything with it's a gambling mentality. Reality, and I'm not saying this can't keep going. You're welcome, Rick. I'm not saying this can't keep going. Pay attention to potential topping patterns because this can end, and when it does end, it won't be good. Until it ends, that's why know where your stops are, and the trend is still up. All the valet boys were discussing their stocks at the hotel. Yeah, it's nuts. That story is exactly the same with what Joseph Kennedy said, except it was the shoe shine boys. Yeah, it does rhyme. I'm seeing it everywhere. Everywhere. When you have Walmart clerks stocking shelves talking about the stocks, they're, oh, I'm using all my money to go in on these plays. Oh boy. Maybe I can double my money to pay my rent. Oh, that's not the money you should be using. All right, but it will keep going until it doesn't. There we go. We're already taking out. Already taking this out, so the double is off the table. With that, I got alerts going off, so I shall talk to everybody. Hopefully tomorrow. Things are at the very end with the hospice stuff, so pay attention to the X feed at MG Arnold in case I have to cancel a live stream. So that's the place to look, or if you don't see things pop up right before, assume it's canceled. Hey, good morning, Heinrich. I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.